Hi, Nick Vandekar here, selling the main line with Long & Foster Real Estate. One of the questions we get asked by many potential clients is, how do I get one of these on my house as quickly as possible? Well, the answer to that is fivefold. Firstly, is if you have an older house, one of the best things I think that you can do is to actually do a pre-inspection. My reason for saying this is it creates transparency. It also helps you to address any issue that could become a stumbling block in negotiations with a buyer. The last thing you want is to get a house under contract and then find that there is something that is a structural issue or just something that has come up in the home inspection that the buyer wants fixed that you're not prepared to do or that you don't agree with, and that causes the deal to fall apart. Far better to do a home inspection, find out what the major issues are likely to be, if any, and fix those. And if there are no major issues, it's easy to provide that home inspection for buyers. It helps you to complete the seller's disclosure efficiently. And if there are issues that you've taken care of, it shows that you're being proactive with the house. It shows on your seller's disclosure that you found things, you've taken care of them, and that you are trying to provide transparency for a buyer, removing some of the concerns that they may have on this transaction, which is probably one of the largest that they're going to do. So, a major issue for a lot of buyers in our area, especially for homes that have been built over the last maybe 20 years, is stucco. So again, if you have stucco, I would suggest that it may be very wise to have a stucco inspection done. This again removes some of the concerns, some of the worries for a potential buyer, and allows you to know if there is an issue that is going to cause a stumbling block, and you can either address that with a reduction in price, knowing that something needs to be fixed, or you can get it fixed, or it shows that there is no issue and that the home is in good condition. And you can again provide that inspection, removing a concern and a worry for future buyers. So first step is in the preparation is getting inspections done, be it home inspection, radon, termite, or a stucco inspection, or anything else that you feel may be a concern for a future buyer. Secondly, I would say is landscaping. So understand that you probably have 2 or 3 seconds to impact a buyer's mind as they turn up at the house. If the front of the house is weed strewn, cracked paths, and that is not going to impact the buyer in a positive way. So you want that front yard, backyard, side yards, flower beds, everything to be neat and tidy, freshly mulched if possible, and if you can get some color in the front of the house, create some curb appeal, so much the better. That really varies on the time of year. But the more you can do, the better it is. Make sure that trash cans, recycling cans are all out of sight and everything looks clean and tidy. Part of that is also decluttering the house is the third issue. And houses that are staged sell quickly, sell for more money, and if you make sure that you can get rid of pictures that have faces on, that's usually what I hear a lot of stagers suggesting, but just making sure the rooms are not overcrowded with furniture, allow people to see what a room is going to look like and how their furniture is going to fit. That's one of the major things of staging. It doesn't always have to be expensive staging. You don't always need to rent furniture or pictures or things like that. Often you can just reuse what is in the house and maybe thin some things out. We all seem to acquire too much stuff. Easy touch-ups, fresh paint. Sometimes just painting a room with a fresh coat of paint is really good. If there's wallpaper, although wallpaper's coming back, it probably is not the wallpaper that you have on from 20 years ago. So it may just need to be that you need to strip some wallpaper, give a fresh coat of paint around, and things like that. Sometimes you can get away with not painting the walls, but just painting the trim. That can make a room look really fresh and new. So there's all steps to these. It's not that you've got to repaint the whole house. Sometimes it's just one room. It may just be the trim around windows and the side and the wainscoting. One of the major things that we find as we're showing houses and we get comments on from buyers is how dirty houses are. So I would suggest that if you can make sure that your house is cleaned, deep cleaning, that means cleaning the wainscoting, that's vacuuming the stairs, making sure that everything is as clean as possible, wiping down the baths. And I know that can be a pain, keeping a house clean, especially when you're selling. And one of the things we often say to clients is when you're living in a house that's for sale, it's very different to just living in your house. It means that you have to pick everything up. Don't leave dishes in the sink. Make sure everything is wiped down, clean. Don't leave frying pans on the range or the stove. So those are just 5 tips to making sure that you end up with one of these as quickly as possible and obtaining the highest price. And I would just say, if you like these 5 tips and want some more, please subscribe and click the subscribe link on our YouTube channel, Selling the Main Line. And we look forward to seeing you again soon.